Hi everyone, it's Steph Stark here, and I'm back again today with a story, this time from the True Scary Stories Reddit. It does look as though the user has deleted their account, but the post is still available, and I'll put a link to that in the description down below for you. This one is called Not My Mother. So, this story happened about 11 years ago. I was a senior in high school at the time, but it is the single most mind-boggling thing that I've ever experienced. It is also important to note that it happened in mid-December. I'm from Iowa, and the winters here get cold at night. Like, if you get stuck outside, you'll die kind of cold. That, plus snowfall, makes everything dead silent. You can hear everything and anything inside the house, and even immediately outside of it. Well, me and my best friend were hanging out in my family's basement, just having a boring winter's night playing video games, and we were also the only ones home. The reason it was just us is because my mum had gone straight from work to a bar to grab a few drinks with co-workers, so me and my friend thought it would be a good idea to break into the family wine and live a little. As we were sitting there opening up the first bottle, I hear the door to the garage open and slam shut. I immediately go, oh shit, and start looking for places to hide the bottle. My friend then says, I thought you said your mum was supposed to be out all night. She was, I replied. I then heard a few heavy stomps and hear my mum yell out, meows and boo, anyone home? I yell back up the stairs, yep, just hanging out in the basement. I hear a few more steps move from the garage door towards the stairs, and she yells out again. Can you come help me with something? I need you up here. I reply back while frantically trying to find a good place to hide the wine bottle. Yep, just give me a minute. Then there was silence for about 20 seconds. Anyone down there with you? She yelled back in a more concerned, serious tone, in a voice that was slightly off from my mother's. This was the first thing that told me something wasn't right. Our family never cared if anyone was over, as our house was very open to all of our family and friends, and the voice, it was just wrong. It sounded like my mum's, but it was missing something that I couldn't quite figure out. Weirded out, I reply back, just Colton. After I yelled that back to her, I found a good place to hide the bottle and began walking up the steps to the next level. Now, as I was walking up the steps, I couldn't help but feel the overbearing silence of the house and the slight electric twinge that something wasn't right. When I got to the top of the steps, I looked over to where the door to the garage is, and also the kitchen right next to it, and it's black, pitch black. All of the lights were off, and there was no moonlight shining through any of the windows. I walked over into the kitchen, yelling out, Mum, where are you? There was no reply, just silence and darkness. I feel the electric twinge turn into full needles, and my adrenaline kicks into full force. I have to get out of here as fast as possible. My mother isn't home. I run back down the stairs, grabbing my coat along the way. What's wrong? Colton says. My mum's not home, I reply as fast as I can, looking for my truck keys. What do you mean? You were just talking to her. I could see the confusion in his face. There's no one home and we need to leave now. I took a few steps towards the back door that opens up to the yard, and then see my dog shaking on the couch and my cat growling behind it. I couldn't leave them. I just knew that if we left, something would happen. Are we leaving? Colton said, still confused as all hell. No, I can't leave them here alone. Something's really off. I'm going to call Mum and figure it out. I pulled out my phone and called my mum, and she picks up immediately. Meows and boo, what's going on? She answers. Mum, were you just home? I heard you yelling for me from the second level, and when I went up there, you weren't there. I said frantically, hoping that she was playing a joke. No, I'm just leaving the bar. I wasn't feeling very well. Are you okay? What do you mean you heard me? I fill her in on the whole story, and she rushes home. Colton and I stay in the basement with the animals until she got home, but before she did, you could hear something upstairs. Not walking or sitting on things, but a pressure in the air, like a black hole slowly moving from one room to the next, and the word that I would instinctively describe it is hungry. When she got home, you could feel the thing leave just as quickly as it came, like an overbearing predator presence had just flown away. We've still never figured out what the hell was going on, and this is just one story of many unexplainable things that have happened to us, but this is the easiest one to write down, and one that I am happy to have had a witness. My mother has passed away now, and I've moved away to Arizona, but whenever I go back to Iowa and see Colton, he still gets creeped out by what happened. I will never truly know what did happen, but I know that whatever it was had my mother's voice. It was evil, and it was hungry. And that brings us to the end of this story. This one was posted in the True Scary Stories, so I'm going to assume that this actually really happened to this guy. And it's really quite creepy and freaky if that is, if this definitely did happen. It reminded me of a game called the Mandela Project, or Mandela Project. That's one of those things that everyone always gets wrong. And I think they were called alternates, where they would like mimic people's voices and then take over their identities, and then get you, it's like get in a room with them, or like call you from a different space. I'm sure that there are like other things, in other like stories and folklore that do this kind of thing to try and like lure people to them. But yeah, if this happened, it's really freaked. So yeah, glad that they're okay. I'm assuming they posted a story after all. But yeah, so that will bring us to the end of this week. Thank you very much for listening, everybody, and if you have any scary stories that you would like me to read, just let me know and I'll be more than happy to check them out. Apart from that, thank you very much and see you next time.